Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, you look good. You're a little lit on the sides. Move around
Which
a little bit.
side? Which side?
A little both. All right, hold up the product like it's. All right, explain the product.
This is the Live Target Poppin' Frog Scott Martin Signature Series.
That's good.
Get it while it lasts.
That's good. I like the enthusiasm with that tone. That's good. I should go with that. We'll sell a lot of frogs. Chickadee check, 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 check. 1, 2, 1, 2. What's up, fellas and ladies and fans and friends and family? Everyone, welcome to another episode of 2020. That's right, 2020. What is 2020? It's where I get to break down the past tournament. Now, this past tournament is a pretty important one. Forrest Wood Cup, baby, 2018. I was actually fortunate enough to win the Forrest Wood Cup back in 2011.
Your 2011 Forrest Wood Cup champion, National Guard Pro Scott Martin.
That's what that big trophy is there behind me at Lake Ouachita, and we're again back at Lake Ouachita 2018. So this one here, I'm going to beat myself up pretty good in this one. So for all you that get enjoyment of me trash talking myself, be sure to watch the whole video because I did some things wrong, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But this is the last 2020 of the year. You know, we're going to be starting them again next year during the tour season, of course. But I do have to have a giant shout out, not only to you guys for getting us over 300,000, 325,000 now, guys, subscribers. So thank you so much. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to click right now, right here in this area. If Brandon will put that right there. I don't know if you can do that, Brandon, or not, but hopefully he put a little thing there and you can hit subscribe. And if you hit subscribe, be sure to hit the notification bell. That way you get a little ding on your phone every time we upload a new video. We've got lots of cool stuff coming down the pipe, lots of cool videos. I'll give you a little nugget. We're shooting a video tomorrow, and it involves a U-Haul. We're going fishing with a U-Haul. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, that video's coming soon. So be sure to, again, subscribe. And thank you for all that, guys. Because let me tell you, I am here shooting these videos, traveling the country because of you guys right there, watching the videos, liking the videos, commenting, and interacting with me. So thank you so much for that. I love it. We're going to be also filming some new shows for the SMC that airs on the Discovery Channel. We're shooting those as we speak. So those will be airing on Discovery Channel in January. Big deal there. But I also have to give a huge thanks to all my sponsors. It costs a lot of money to travel around the country and do what we do. And without the sponsors, the Rangers, the Evinrudes, the Trocars, the P-Lines, the Chevrolets, the list goes on, Power Pole, Bob's Machine Shop, I mean, list goes on and on. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, we're going to list all my sponsors in the description down there. If you guys get a chance, check out their page, give them a like, give them a thumbs up, and they're awesome people. Good products, of course. Now, also want to say a huge thank you to all of you that have been putting up with the ads on our videos this year. You know, without the ads, we couldn't do what we do. We travel around the country, we go all over. It costs, Brandon eats a lot of food. I mean, a lot of food, actually. And Billy, he doesn't eat a lot, he's kind of small, but he's been working out, I think, that's what he said. But it costs a lot of money. So you guys putting up with the ads, watching the ads on YouTube, that revenue helps pay for what we're doing. So thank you so much for putting up with the ads. Without the YouTube revenue, YouTube ads, it'd be hard for us to do this. So that being said, let me jump into that. Well, let me give a couple quick shout outs too to Live Target, okay? Live Target just sent me the new swim bait bluegill. Now, Live Target is known for some realistic stuff, and they have hit it out of the park with this one. I'm actually gonna take this fishing tomorrow in a video that we're gonna do. Look at this thing. That right there is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at the paint job on that thing. Nice anatomic tail, super realistic looking, awesome hook. Live Target knocked it out of the park with this bluegill. When is this bluegill gonna work good? It'll work pretty much year round, but especially in and around the spawn of either the bass or the bluegill, because bass love to eat bluegill. So that is really awesome. And while we're on Live Target, be sure to check out the Live Target Poppin' Frog. I developed this, it's going well. A lot of people are sending me photos and tagging me on Instagram with some of the fish they're catching with this thing here. I do not approve of the photo there, actually. That was a bad beard day, but I do approve of this frog. This is the Live Target Poppin' Frog. We're gonna drop a link down below. Go check it out. Summertime and in the fall, frogs are hot, okay? Frogs are good. They work great on the mats of grass, everything. Big fish, they eat frogs. So that frog right there is really, really good. Good hook, good paint job, of course, and it pops. Got the little concave nose. We'll, again, drop a link down below. And also, before we go, let me just get through a couple of house cleaning things. Running smoothly all year long. Big thanks to Evinrude and Ranger. And also, I don't give them enough credit, but StarTron. If you guys own an engine of any sort, goat cart, lawnmower, a bicycle, no, not a bicycle, don't put it in a bicycle, but a motorcycle, it would work on a motorcycle, a bass boat or a truck or car or plane or ship. It works in ships too. Basically anything that runs on fuel that you have to put sometimes ethanol in, this right here is an enzyme fuel treatment that helps cure the ethanol issues that we're all dealing with. So thank you, StarTron, this stuff's awesome. Matter of fact, we're gonna pick, I don't know, let's pick 5 people from the comments, send them some StarTron. So be sure to make a comment if you want to try some. We'll pick 5 of you guys and send out some StarTron, because let me tell you, if you're going to be winterizing your boat soon, hunting season's getting started, temperatures are going to start to fall soon, you're going to be parking your boats in the garage for a little bit, put StarTron in there. It's going to help you the next time you start your boat up when it's time to go fishing. So that stuff's really, really good. And also, Squincher, you hear me talk about it all the time. Thank you for making really good drinks. Electrolyte replacement stuff's awesome. Good. I can't say enough good things about Squincher, especially in the summertime. So now let's get into the meat of this 2020 Forrest Wood Cup 2018 Lake Ouachita. The lake was fishing tough. I know you guys, a lot of you followed it. You saw like really low weights, not a lot of fish caught. It wasn't the lake's fault. The lake's actually good. The lake actually is a great lake, a great place to have a tournament. But for whatever reason, with the temperatures rising, the lake falling, and the bait were really small this year. I don't know if they had a late spawn on the shad or whatever, but the bait population just had these tons of these little super small little shad everywhere. And when the bass get keyed in on that really small stuff, that creates a couple problems. Number one problem is it's so small, it's hard to have a lure match the hatch, right? Because when they're eating tiny, tiny little shad, you can't throw a lure that's that little. So it makes it a little difficult to trick the fish. Number two, they gorge themselves on these little minnows. And when they're gorging themselves on those little minnows, they stay full. And so it's just really hard to trick them. You know, I had a couple places that had a lot of fish schooling in the area, and it made it tough to catch those fish because the bait fish were so small. All right, before we go any farther, I did forget one little thing. This shirt, that's right, Team Martin shirt. Check it out, guys. Very limited supply left over from the Cup. So if you guys want to get a Team Martin shirt, says Lake Ouachita, has a Googan Baits, powered by Googan Baits, check it out. Okay, we'll have the link in the description down below. Once these shirts are gone, they'll never be again. So if you guys made it to the Forrest Wood Cup and you didn't get a shirt and you want to get one, check it out. And if you just want one because you want one, Team Martin shirts are available, so thank you very much. And speaking of Googan Baits, they're shipping as we speak. I know they're getting in orders they're getting shipments in every day and fulfilling those orders, so thank you so much for all the patience you guys have had on getting these baits out there. It has been overwhelming, to say the least. The response, the orders have been awesome. You guys are going to love the baits, and thank you so much for supporting the brand. We've got more stuff on the drawing table coming down the pipe as well, so we're really excited about what we're doing at Googan Baits. So let's dive into the tournament. Now again, Forrest Wood Cup, small bait, hot summertime tournament. What did I do wrong? There's several things that I did wrong. We had a 3-day tournament, but we had 4 days of practice. And to be honest with you, 4 days of practice on Lake Ouachita is plenty of time to cover most of the lake. And I didn't manage my time well. Now what do I mean by that? Well, basically, I should have mapped out and scheduled my days a little bit better, meaning I should have had a preconceived idea of what area of the lake I need to fish on what days based on the weather, based on what I'm finding, etc., and kind of have a schedule and kind of map the practice out. And I didn't do that. You know, I kind of just fished what looked good. I just kind of ran around. I would fish deep for a minute, shallow for a minute, upper river for a minute. I kind of never settled into focusing on, say, brush piles or focusing on just grass and kind of dissecting the lake a little bit. You know, where Clint won the tournament was in an area of the lake that I didn't spend a lot of time in. I just ran out of time. And that's really where my downfall was, because when I won the tournament in 2011, there was a hot section of the lake, and I found it. And when I found it, it had bigger fish, it had better bait, It had more bait and better bait, and when you'd idle over those brush piles with the Garmin, you would see the fish in them, you'd see the bait position better, and I found areas on the lake that produced a better grade of fish, and that's basically what Clint and a couple of those guys did. They had a bigger area of the lake that had a better group of fish, and that was very, very important. And again, I mismanaged my time. I didn't get up every morning knowing where I was going to go. I launched my boat and I just kind of ran down the lake, and based on whatever, I just kind of started fishing all kind of things. So let me dive into the two things that messed me up on day 2 of the tournament. When you're fishing an ultra tough tournament where every bite counts, you can't lose those opportunities. I know everybody loses fish in a lot of tournaments, but it's just part of the game. But I messed up, and one of them was completely my fault, and here's what happened. Matter of fact, before I dive into it, take a look at this footage, and then I'll explain what happened. Got him. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them. Oh, he pulled off! Son of a... God darn it! There was like 5 of them there. There's a big one too. A 3? That's big for here. All right, so what happened there was I was going down the bank, threw my top water in this little pocket, nice 3-pounder, come up underneath it, boiled on it, blew up on the bait. I hooked him, fighting the fish. He ran out in open water, perfect like he's supposed to. And instead of me focusing on the fish, this is the problem. Instead of me focusing on fighting the fish properly, getting the fish in position, getting ready to land, I didn't. I started worrying about where the net was. As you see in the video, I've got my hand out, one hand on the rod only. I'm reaching for the net. And as I'm doing that, with one hand on the rod, the fish pulls a little bit farther and a little bit harder than I was expecting and took the bend out of the rod. What does that mean? He basically straight rodded me for just a split second. And in that braid, I'm using P-line 50-pound X braid, no stretch. It's just when you get them close to the boat, you have to pay real close attention on fighting them. You don't want any weird stuff going on without any stretch. Fish straight rodded me, and then here's what happened. It actually bent one of the hooks out, okay? Probably the hook that was actually holding the fish on the most. Because once that happened, the fish turned and came back the other way and pulled off. When I reeled the bait in, bent hook. So what did I learn there? What did I notice I did wrong? Again, I didn't focus on the fish. I should have walked around the boat with the fish. I should have done whatever I needed to do to properly land that bass in an ultra tough tournament like that, and I didn't. I started focusing on the net, big problem. Focus on the fish and focus on getting the fish in position to land, and you'll land more fish. Pay attention. That's very, very important. The second fish I lost, I don't really think it was my fault necessarily. I saw the fish cruising down the bank, had a wacky worm in my hand, pitched a wacky worm as the fish. Matter of fact, here, take a look at it real quick. Oh, dang it. You got it, dude. Yeah. So as you noticed, I actually saw that fish right before I turned and threw back towards him. He was coming down the bank. I didn't move. I didn't want to spook him. I pitched the wacky worm over to him. He bit. I lifted up on him, set the hook, had him for just a split second, and the hook pulled out. I should have let him eat it a little bit longer. I don't know why I set the hook so quick. So that's probably a big issue that I had with that. I'll take blame for that. I should have said, fish bit, got in position, let him eat it just for a second, lift up, game over. If I'd landed those 2 fish, I'd have been fishing on the final day and competing to win the Forrest Wood Cup again. But, it just didn't work out. But those are the 2 things I did wrong on day 2 that cost me a bunch. So, other than that, just not really having a pattern. I think for me, it was almost more like organized junk fishing, even if that's a term, where it's like I would run down the lake, and if the wind was blowing in on a pocket, I'd fish shallow, and then I'd run out to a brush pile, and then I would check some schooling spots. I was just kind of all over the map. And Clint was pretty focused on what he was doing. He focused hard on the brush piles. He focused hard with the big worm. I mean, I just couldn't get those things going. Now that being said, huge congratulations to Clint for figuring it out, sticking with his pattern. He fished loose that last day. He had nothing to lose, sitting in 10th place. And he caught the mega bag. And what does that mean? A mega bag, and this is something else I've noticed in these championships, Bassmasters Classic, Forrest Wood Cups, whatever they may be, A mega bag is important. When I won the Forrest Wood Cup back in 2011,
$600,000 richer.
I had almost 20 pounds the first day. And then I had like 16 and 14 and 15 or whatever. It was a 4-day tournament. And I rode that mega bag through the finals. And Clint caught the mega bag on the last day, which is great. So my point to that is figure out a way to catch a big bag of fish, right? If I could have caught a giant bag of fish one of those 3 days, I may have could have rode all the way to the end in a victory. So, you know, it was a tough tournament. We're going back next year. I'm looking forward to going back next year because I don't think the fishing's going to be as tough as it was. I think we hit it at the absolute toughest time we could have hit it. And I don't think the stars are going to quite line up like that next year. I'm sure that we're going to fish it. It's going to be more of a normal lake, more of a normal topwater, more of a normal schooling deal. I think there's going to be a lot more fish caught. And plus, we just left there. So I think a lot of the anglers are going to have a better knowledge of the lake and a better understanding of what works and what doesn't work. So I expect next year the weights to go up even more, a lot more actually. So, you know, hindsight 2020, it's a little tough for me to sit here and tell you all these things. But, you know, it's what makes you better. Because, guys, you have to think, like, there's a reason for everything, right? Every fish you lose, there's a reason for it. Every fish you catch, there's a reason for it. You have to pay attention to every little thing that you do and every little clue those fish give you to be a successful tournament angler for sure. So, again, huge shout out to all my sponsors. Huge shout out to all you guys. I want to give you one more update. We're going to change the upload schedule slightly, okay? Just slightly. We have been doing Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for uploads, 3 uploads a week. But Brandon and I are going to go focus on some really awesome content. Now that tour season's over, some special trips. We're going to South Korea. We're going to Minnesota next week. We're going down to Mexico to fish. We got lots of cool things. So we're going to change it up to 2 uploads a week. You won't miss me that much, I promise. 2 uploads a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays, and we're gonna have some good stuff. And we're gonna throw in some bonus videos every once in a while. So every once in a while, Thursday, we'll give you a live, we'll give you a fishing tip, we'll give you something that we've got coming. But every Tuesdays and Saturdays, new SMCs. And we're also filming new SMCs for the Discovery Channel for next year. So be ready for all the new episodes airing on the Discovery Channel starting in January of the Scott Martin Challenge. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support. And oh, we're gonna finish it out with this. My buddy Jude. I read a letter from my buddy Jude early in the year. He came to one of the tournaments. He's 7 years old, and he actually came to the Forrest Wood Cup. Look, check out this artwork. Look at that. That's good stuff right there. He drew on the back. His artwork's gotten better. He's got a little topwater lure there. He has a little crankbait. The topwater lure has a diving lip on it, Brandon. That might be something we need to maybe build. It actually looks pretty cool. But he wrote another letter, so I do want to give him a little props to my boy Jude, reading his letter. I don't have any idea what it's going to say. It could be a little, okay. I think we're okay. This is from Jude. Scott, I saw the biggest Bass Pro Shops on my way here. That's the Forrest Wood Cup as he was driving. I want to see you, Billy, and Brandon. He spelled your name wrong, but that's funny. That's how I'm going to start spelling it. Fish next year. He wants to see us fish next year. So guess what? You are going to see us fish next year because we're going to be doing the same thing next year. We're going to be fishing, having fun. Billy's going to come on the road with us. I'm not real sure how much fishing Billy's going to do other than the Billy and Brandon's Excellent Adventures, which is going to be dropping right after this video. So get ready for that next upload, Billy and Brandon's Excellent Adventures. And they went a little off the beaten path in that one. So guys, thank you so much. Bam, how about that? Bam, how about that? How about this, Jude? How about this? Thanks, buddy. We'll see you.
Boom!